All right, here we go, another inspection, and this one's recently had a engine rebuild. It's done somewhere approaching the 400,000 Ks, and yeah, it's probably had the original injectors and maybe a tune, a remap or a chip. There was some chip there at some point in time. So let's not worry about talking about why, let's just concentrate on the rebuild and the solution and how this one, the previous owner of the vehicle obviously had the rebuild done. So we're doing a inspection for the current owner. So this part of the video is to document all the missing bits and pieces we can see from the person getting the rebuild, not bringing it to us to do it right the first time. But look, we can't do everybody's, and lucky not everybody watches the videos, and we can only do it right for people that want to bring it to us or watch the videos and learn and do it right themselves. So first thing, you can see the cover over the cover's missing. Things like the wiring loom's going to rub on the valve cover. The whole wiring loom's just flopping around, rubbing on the fuel pipe. These clips here, that one and the one behind it that's normally visible, just underneath there, you can just see it behind the, just there, you can see that black one. That's meant to be clipped into the cover that goes over the cover. The cover over the cover gets bolted down into this clip here, and there's one at the other side, and the hole in the middle of the valve cover, and there's another one at the back. All the internals are there, have been pulled out. We've talked about that in the injector info playlist. The wiring loom at the back's got a bolt that goes in up the top of that bit of plastic there, holding it on the EGR valve. That's missing. The whole stay on the inlet manifold, there's a flat plate that goes down on the manifold, down in that area there, and goes up to right middle of the picture, and the bolt goes through supporting the EGR valve and that part of the intake, where in this case, it's just sitting there vibrating. It's alloy, it's cast aluminium, it can break. I mean, lucky so far. But normally it's got that support back there. It's got another support here that's broken off. In the meantime, some zip ties to sort of do something to hold it still. So looking pretty average over that side of things. Moving over here, just to let everyone know. So aftermarket hose, as you would normally know, you've got a bit of vacuum line normally, and a bit of plastic goes this way, then a bit of vacuum line coming underneath to the map sensor. So this one, just so it's not rubbing on the hose at this side, I would reroute this one. Well, if it was my car, I'd just get the genuine original vacuum line and stick it so it goes this side where it's meant to, up underneath. This bit of wiring here, it's like half of it's behind the clamp. It's half's in front and half's behind. So normally the vacuum line would normally clip into that clip there. That's what goes there. But when it's on the other side of the throttle motor, and there's normally a plastic clip on here that clips that into there, so it secures all the wiring nice and still, so it doesn't vibrate around and rub on metal parts and rub through. Up here there's one zip tie around the whole thing. I'd probably just re-tape that. All you got to do is take the zip tie off, put the plastic in place here, and wrap your tape around here to secure that, and then that'll it's probably sort of clipped in, sort of half sitting in the hole anyway, not sure really, but just fix it up the way it's meant to be. There's normally a cover over this VSV. You can see the stud there and there, metal cover with nuts holding that down. So there's a whole heap of stuff. That's just what we can see at the top. A whole heap of stuff missing. Fuel filters change things around a bit, but so fuel lines, we won't worry about that too much. The aftermarket clamps, we're not a fan of those. They're all over the place here. They must have lost the originals. You can see how the clamp's cutting into the hoses. With the heating and cooling over time, that can result in splits at the end of the hoses coming off, and then you cook your engine because there's no coolant in there. So it's not really a good thing, but it might be okay if you're lucky, and we don't do luck here. So that's why we're just going to document everything like what we've seen so far. So it can be rectified at the choice of the customer. This engine got new injectors with a rebuild. You can see the fuel pipes haven't been changed, so that's a bit capped and risky. Look, everything, hopefully it'll be all right, but you know what I mean? It's like, what do? You do it all again. It's all sort of been done, but it hasn't been done right. So do you do it again, or do you risk it for the biscuit? Anyway, this is what we're seeing up this end of things. We'll have a bit more of a look around. We'll have a look underneath and see what we can see around the engine from underneath. Surely there's got to be a lot more missing if that's what's missing up the top here. Not too bad a looking vehicle overall. But yeah, this sort of stuff, you just can't sort of have all that missing, and long term, it's going to result in some sort of issues. So let's start in the wheel arch here. These are plastic flappy things that you don't really need. Missing at the back, that's perfect because you don't need it. But what you don't want is this one in here rubbing on your drive belt, which is where that is. So that could have been causing a bit of racket because it was right in front of the alternator there. This one's still decent, just needs a clip to clip it back in place outside here. So a couple of replacement clips actually. Yeah. These spares we've got, these are the ones you need. See those? Yeah. So you can go ahead and go pop those for as many that are missing. Yeah, find the hole. Are you any good at finding the hole?
I reckon he's...
Oh, the zip ties in the hole at the top, that's part of it. Oh yeah, so it's totally wrong.
The wrong way around, I reckon.
Yeah, there's no hole there. Oh no, lift it up. What about to that hole up higher?
Nah.
No?
Doesn't look right, but...
No, you're right. No, I wouldn't put it there. No.
I think it's the wrong way around, to be honest.
Yeah, unreal. So what do you reckon? I mean, I'm not saying rip it because people like, there's one's already got a hole in it there anyway, so it's sort of stuff. But yeah, I'd maybe just remove it and put it on the side, and then you can use it better for inspections. And hey, we've got more spare clips.
He's got a zip tie on that, does he?
Zip ties. It's good for inspection though. I'm at the turbo side now. I can go and have a look. Yeah, a bit of oil on the bottom of the turbo, and I noticed the turbo had a little bit of a whistle, so it's probably the original turbo, maybe. Hard to know, and it could last a fair while yet, or it could be on the way out. So just keep an ear on the turbo. Be aware of that one. Same sort of thing around this side, the flap, just flapping around, except this one is fitted. So the top one's a bit ripped, so it's probably not going to stay in there, but there's a clip missing at the top, and the bottom one's not clipped in, but it's got a different sort of clip, which won't stay in there. And look, when the body flexes around, this is where they rip and they pop out, which is why it's kind of good not to have them, because then you can see, you can clean, and you don't have to worry about them falling out of place. Because even on my 2022 1GD, they were always falling out of place. But outside, like, that's where you want it. See, this one's ripped. You know what I mean? Like, what I'd do, I'd cut it. Yeah, I'd get rid of it. Yeah, that's it. That's what it was on my car, because this one's still soft. Yeah. Right? It's actually pretty good still, but it's ripped. Like I said, the flex between the body and that when you do off-road stuff, it just pulls out, just pulls the clips. The clips, you see how crappy little, they're rubbish. That's a bit of a bad design, but just looking around here, engine-wise for the engine out job, anything that might be missing, I think we'll have a look underneath now. Let's keep it simple and have a quick look at the front before we get down to this tyre. Have a look at this. Whoa. Anyway, we'll get back to that. $500 worth of rubber gone. Haven't seen that before, I've got to say, so this will be interesting. Yeah. All right, so here you can see your tyres rubbing on the upper control arm. That's pretty normal with, what do we got here anyway? So we've got the standard wheels, we've got 275/70, so they're about 32.5 sort of thing, so on standard rims. So yeah, they're going to hit those upper control arms a bit. Nothing really exciting to see here. Having a quick look. And you said you did some of the lower bushes or something?
Yeah, replace the lower control arm on that side.
Replace the whole arm, okay, cool. They don't look too bad, the rest of the bushes. Yeah. That drive shaft's been changed as well, you said, this one here? It's got aftermarket boots, so it's an aftermarket shaft, is it? Or?
No, it's genuine CV, but second hand. So
yeah, right, so someone's rebuilt it. Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like it from the material here, it looked genuine.
Yeah.
But the boots after, it's got rubber on the outside as well, so yeah. Okay, cool. And this is the genuine one still. All right, let's work our way down. Having a look. So that turbo, what we're looking at from up there, you can see the sort of oil on the bottom of it. We see maybe not 1 in 10 that bad, but probably quite a few like that, and they stay like that for years, but wouldn't worry. It's pan gaskets squeezing it out of place. It's like it's been over-timed, and that gasket's out there, so that looks like an aftermarket gasket. Have you had it off since you had it? No, okay, so maybe someone's had the pan off. Yeah, I'd be redoing the pan gasket with a genuine one. Given those circumstances, if you lose the oil from that, yeah, transmissions are expensive. Right, everything under here looks all right so far. So we've got to have a serious look at what's going on. This diff must be moving around because you can't have a brand new KO3 tyre for $520 doing that. I think we need a photo of that. Work out how to use a phone and a camera in a minute. Pretty sick photo, man. That's mad, yeah. and it's like melted, so it's been rubbing.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's holding air still, to be honest.
And it's hitting the rim as well.
Rim squat.
Yeah, that's mad. So it's not airing down because that can't move the rim. So what else is hitting? Something else. This whole diff's got to be moving around. So let's go to what holds the diff from moving side to side. That's the panhard, you know, and I would have thought there's no way you can get that much movement in that, and you can't. Mate, I'll tell you what, nothing's coming to mind real quick that tells me what the hell is doing that. Can you hear that at all when you're driving?
No, I couldn't hear nothing.
Haven't heard a thing.
I had someone behind me driving.
Yeah, really?
Really weird. But it had to have been when I was off-road because I've been touching it, driving it on-road, and it hasn't been getting hot on the inside of it.
So even aired down, okay. I've got to think about this for a minute. Bloody hell. So we've had a good look and discussion about this $520 tyre. And you must replace this ASAP. It's dangerous, all right? Copy?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But if it was me, I'd go, man, 520, look how much tread's left. And it's holding air now. And I can't see anything rubbing. So, to be honest, I'm going to keep it on the back and I'm not going to exceed, high speeds, anything like that.
Yeah.
Keep it safe. And I'd be, trying to see what I can get out of it, to be honest, because this isn't prone to damage. It's generally on the outside. It's usually outside on this side because you're sort of hitting more things. I don't know. Look, it doesn't seem to, I don't see people getting cuts on the sidewalls on the inside of the tyre. It's always about here. It's never really that far on the inside. So, but you should replace it straight away. It's dangerous, is my recommendation. Okay. But what we think's happened is there's nothing here. There's no evidence of anything hitting, and nothing here can shift position enough to do that damage. So what must have happened, and it wouldn't have been a rock, because if a rock was jammed in here, it would have put real gouges into this alloy rim, and it's very smooth that way. But a stick, a bit of timber is enough constantly rubbing to certainly rub through the rubber and do that if it's like that for, I don't know, if you drive around even probably 10 or 20 Ks, I'd imagine could do that. So keep an eye out if you're going into rough terrain areas that maybe in a bog hole there was a stick and it flicked up and it sort of, I reckon it's going to have been jammed in here. There's a bit of a mark there or underneath this, or I don't really know exactly where, but it feels like maybe behind the shock here or up underneath in here something. I think a stick was jammed and it's rubbing on the side of the tyre, making it really hot. You can see the rubber on the outside's melted and this is just really worn down. It's unfortunate, but there's still a bit of rubber there. So, doesn't look good. Looks like something from the, what's that, from the 50s or something? Do it to all of them and turn it around and put it on the outside. Yeah, so look, careful people. Check your, if you've got a stick jammed in there, but there's certainly nothing under here that has or would cause anything like that that I can think of. So, bada bing, bada boom. What are these plugs doing here? I'd probably just zip tie them away and just secure them away, but yeah. Cheap car. Do you mind? Can we tell everyone what you paid for it?
Yeah, 16.
16 grand, mate. What a bargain. I mean, you can't go wrong. A 150 Prado for 16 grand. Now, was this you putting this in the fuel tank? I reckon that was you, or was it already?
Yeah, most likely.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably one of the last trips out.
Yeah, cool. So K-on's got a guard for that as well. And underneath it's like a plastic tank, right?
Yeah.
And this is pushing into it. It'll probably be all right, but every now and then it's probably worth taking the guard off, 6 bolts, and just bash this back out so that this steel, and sometimes you get really sharp bits from rocks pushing into it, you know what I mean? And if that's vibrating, it's not going to cut into the tank, and so just be aware of that, that's all, So just to wrap this one up, if you made it to the end, a few things here to sort out. Underneath, not too bad, but Jack did have a couple of concerns. What were they? Come a bit closer because this microphone is not...
So there was a clicking noise going on from the front just recently since I replaced the control arm. It was fine after I replaced it, but I had a wheel alignment done on last weekend and started clicking after that. So,
after the wheel alignment?
Yeah, after the wheel alignment. So didn't know what it was, to be honest. But
and the issue with the tyre was your other main concern, so they were your two main concerns?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, but it just seems that something's got lodged in there.
I reckon a bit of wood, a stick or something. It's the only thing that makes sense. So, tell you what, mate, double or nothing. If that keeps wearing exactly how it was before, and I'm wrong, I'll buy a new tyre.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah, you'll be hoping. You'll be out there with a chisel, mate, trying to... Anyway, so we just found the lower control arm, the bolts were loose. So we tighten those up to resolve that issue. So when you put the brakes on going forward and backwards straight away, just going slow back forward, the arm is shifting a little bit in the bolt. So those lower control arm bolts where you adjust the wheel alignment, 2 on each side, they need to be really tight. There'll be a torque spec on it. Someone can put it in the comments to help everyone out. I'm not looking it up at the moment, but they need to be really tight so they don't shift in off-roading or on-roading or anything like that, which could move your wheel alignment again. I'd say it probably hasn't, but you have to keep an eye on your tyres. Make sure it drives good still.
Yeah,
make sure that in case it has shifted, and then you probably go back to them and say, look, you left it loose. I tightened it up.
No, I'll be leaving a bad review.
Yeah, that's it. Do that too. Good reviews, bad reviews, everybody. Go for it. Anything in the middle. Don't leave a review until you're really sure if the business is good or bad is my recommendation. And that's it. Bada bing, bada boom. Subscribe to the bell and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.